Tonight, we've explored strange sightings, unexplained encounters, and whispers of beings from beyond the stars. But there's one case that lingers in the dark corners of UFO lore. Stranger than abductions, more personal than sightings. This one isn't just a tale of unworldly visitors, it's about contact.
Not lights in the sky, not missing time, but a man, a smiling man, who stepped out of the unknown not to take, but to talk. Who claimed he came in peace, but left behind a trail of questions that have haunted believers and skeptics alike for decades.
This is the story of Woodrow Derenberger and the being who calls himself Indrid Cold. You've heard the legends, a tall figure in a dark suit, lurking at the edge of the woods. No eyes, no mouth, just an eerie stillness. Some call him Slender Man, a myth born on the internet, fed by fear, and stitched into our nightmares.
But what if he wasn't just a myth? What if the image we know today was inspired by something real, something older, stranger, a being that didn't just stalk the shadows, but spoke from them?
Long before the Slender Man spread across forums and horror threads, there were stories of another tall, unsettling figure. One who appeared not in dreams, but on highways, not to harm, but to speak, with a frozen smile and a message from the stars.
This is the story of Indrid Cold, the original Smiling Man, the humanoid that may have inspired one of the internet's darkest creations, or perhaps simply revealed its true face. The year was 1966. The man, Woodrow Derenberger, a humble sewing machine salesman from Parkersburg, West Virginia, just a regular guy living a regular life, until one night changed everything.
It was a quiet November evening. Derenberger was driving home along Route 77 when he saw lights in the sky. Unusual, almost hypnotic. Suddenly, a strange metallic craft descended and landed directly in front of his truck, forcing him to stop. The air felt thick. Time seemed to slow.
From the craft stepped a tall humanoid figure. Not a monster, not a gray alien, but something eerily human. He wore a sleek, dark suit. His skin was smooth, almost plastic looking. And that smile, wide, frozen, and utterly unnerving, like he was trying to mimic human emotion and just missed the mark.
The man, if you can call him that, introduced himself as Indrid Cold, but not with his mouth. He spoke directly into Derenberger's mind. No sound, just thoughts, clear and calm. He told Derenberger not to be afraid, that he came in peace, that he was from a distant planet called Lanulos, in a galaxy humans had yet to discover.
Indrid Cold claimed he was studying humanity, observing, learning. He said this encounter would not be their last. And he was right. Over the next few months, and even years, Derenberger reported multiple meetings with Cold. Sometimes out in the open, sometimes in his home, sometimes in dreams.
These weren't just chats about the weather. According to Derenberger, Cold shared information about his planet, about other beings in the cosmos, and even about events that hadn't happened yet. It was as if Cold was grooming him for something, some kind of messenger or liaison between species.
And here's where it gets even stranger. Derenberger wasn't alone. Around the same time, others in the Ohio River Valley reported seeing a similar figure, a tall man in a suit with a fixed, unsettling grin. Some claimed he was tied to the Mothman sightings in nearby Point Pleasant. Others believe he was part of a broader phenomenon, this so-called Men in Black.
There's a car past me, overtaking me from behind. And following closely behind this car was this unidentified flying object. And as the car behind passed me, this object was following close behind it, and it swerved directly in front of my truck, turning crosswise. And when it turned crosswise, it slowed down. It started slowing, not abruptly or too fast, but it gave me plenty of time to step on my brakes and slow down with it. But it forced me to come to a complete stop. As soon as I had stopped, there was a door opened in the side of this vehicle, and this man stepped out and came directly to me, or came to the truck. He walked to the right-hand side of the truck, and he told me to roll down the window. He asked me to roll down the window on my right-hand side of my truck. And I had done what he asked. And this man stood there, and he first asked me what I was called. And I knew he meant my name, and I told him my name. And he asked me, he said, why are you frightened? He said, don't be frightened, we wish you no harm. He said, we mean you no harm, we wish you only happiness. And I told him my name, and when I told him my name, he said he was called Cold. That was the name that he was called by. And he asked me what the city of Parkersburg, he pointed to the lights, he didn't point, but he gave the impression that he was pointing, and he asked me what that was called. And I told him it was Parkersburg, it was a city, a town. And he asked me if most all the people lived in this city or town. And I explained to him that it was a place of business. That's where we transacted our business. That the people lived in communities, outlying communities, most of the people. And when I told him that this was a city, he said that where his home was, that was called a gathering. And again, he told me not to be frightened, which I was. I was very frightened. And as far as I can understand, this was all mental. There was no spoken words from him. I knew what he was asking me, but yet he stood there and his mouth did not move. He had a smile on his face. He appeared very courteous and friendly. And after I talked with him a while, he told me he would see me. He said, we will see you again, and he left in his vehicle.
Now, Mr. Dernberger, for the sake of our television audience here, the words that you used, cold would be like Cold is his name. This is how it sounded to you, that his name was Cold.
Yes.
And the word gathering was like we would know together or something like this.
Yes, that's what he meant. That was the impression that he gave.
And he did not move his lips nor utter any sound whatsoever. He talked with you in telepathy then.
That was right. That his lips did not move. He uttered no words at all.
But you talked. I mean, he didn't.
Yes, I talked. He told me twice that I could either talk or I could think, which either would be better or easier for me.
To this day, no one knows who or what Indrid Cold really was. An alien? A time traveler? A government experiment gone rogue? Or something more interdimensional?
One thing's for sure, Indrid Cold didn't just visit. He lingered. He watched. He smiled. And if the stories are true, he still might be out there, waiting for the right moment to make contact again.
So keep your eyes on the road. And if you ever see a man in a dark suit with a grin that never fades, don't be so quick to wave it off. He might already know your name.